Yes. Yay, it's us. Ah, aloha. Yes. Welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson. Thank you so much for joining. Ooh, I just felt a settling, just like arriving at Wisdom Dialogues. I just sense like this settling, like, and Anne was just sharing with me before I started. Anne comes and joins me here in person. She was just sharing with me before I started what's been a Zoom kind of day. Wow. It didn't seem like I was getting that sense today. It seemed like I had like a really chill day, but still the feelings can come up. Like just in allowing the feelings to come up, it's like, whoa, I just felt and I know, people have shared with me, oh gosh, I feel like I'm running. And then I get to Wisdom Dialogues and it's like, it's like, yay, we're here to focus on the truth. And that is so relaxing, isn't it? That's the most relaxing thing there is. People talk about self-care and stuff, but you can't really have self-care just like going through the motions. Like say your self-care is a bath or something. You're laying there in the bath and you're just thinking about stuff. That's not really relaxing. That's not really like the kind of self-care that you could say your spirit wants for you. So it's like first taking the relaxation in the mind, and in taking that relaxation in the mind, then all of your doings can be like self-care, even if they may look like something else, because you're allowing that sense of relief for yourself, being the doer about that thing that you seem to be doing. Like you're not even doing that thing. So when you allow that release in your mind, you can get that, I've arrived, just like I've arrived at Wisdom Dialogues. I've arrived within myself, despite any perception that I'm having that seems like I have to rush around or I am being rushed around. I can stay within myself, within my own awareness, within the awareness that this is something that's passing. Everything's passing. It's a passing illusion. See, so you can get the relief, you can get that relaxation. It's like for me, from moment to moment, I just see how much I can relax. I just look, see how much relaxation can there be. And that tends to show up in the manifest too, as far as being easily irritated by things. It's like when you're always allowing yourself to get that sense of relaxation, to get that relief, in that awareness, you're asking for the truth, you're asking for the spirit to guide you, to show you that there's nothing here that's threatening, there's no impending threat coming upon you. You're perfectly taken care of. Everything is provided for. It's your thinking that that's not so, that makes you have a perception that it's not so. Okay, so despite what you're having a perception of, your thoughts led you there in the first place. So despite what you're having a perception of, it doesn't mean anything about you, and it's totally not so. Everything that you get a perception of is to try to prove that you are in fact separate, which you're not. So the whole perception and the perceived laws of the world are set up to prove to your mind that you're not what you are, that you're something other than love. Like the world will say that you can love someone and hate another person. You cannot do that. That isn't love. That's not knowing what love is. Love is just one. You can't hold any kind of disparity towards someone and be in love or something, or, it's always about yourself, really. And it seems like it's about another person. That's why, love is one. So you only love as much as you would love anything. It's not it's like the lowest common denominator. That's what, and it's not even love. It's not even like a fraction of love or something like that. It's just an illusion. Like, you can have that illusion, like as if you love someone, you think you love someone. You can have that illusion like you think you love someone, and you can also be willing to learn what love is, because until you can love everything equally and perfectly, you don't know what love is. And that's what this illusion manifestation is bringing you. So, that's why gratitude is so relevant, because everything that's coming to you is for this. Everything that's coming to you is perfect for you. It's the ultimate abundance, getting exactly what you need right on time. And so being grateful, just practicing it, take a couple minutes out of the day. You could even set a timer, a couple minutes out of the day, and everything comes to your mind, just being grateful for that. Because in gratitude for the manifestation, you're going to come to see how the manifestation is serving you. And when you see that, you're not going to feel so victimized by it. You're going to feel like it's serving you, and you're going to react as if it's serving you. And in that, you'll see it healed. Okay, so it's going to be played out. It's like you demonstrate it to your mind. Oh my goodness, I never went on Facebook. Okay, let's try again. It timed out. We still have a recording, though. We have a recording for, what's it called? YouTube, baby. We have that one. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to work today. It might not. That's why you guys have a link, and you can join me on Zoom, even if the technology, well, at least that technology. Some of you guys just join me in person, like Anne. She just shows up. Like, the whole internet goes down, me and Anne will be over here having wisdom dialogues. So yeah, Facebook apparently is going to time out this week, so that's fun. So I have some things that some people have been wanting me to talk about for a little bit. Let's see. Wow, I make a lot of notes, but it's not all about this. Okay. Like, what should you do? Okay. Like, what should you do to quicken the process? Like, say you just want to quicken the process. You really want to quicken the process. Okay. Oh, what should you do? Well, number one, relax about it, because impatience actually makes it take longer. So the impatience part, that is something that is like an opportunity to see through. It's something that you can use, actually. Not for maybe what you think it is, but it's something that you can use, because it's an upset feeling. It's an indication that you've lost connection with your source, your mental connection with your source, as in your thoughts are not in alignment, with the source. So that upset feeling is just meant to be recognized as a symbol of a falsehood that you believe. See what I mean? Do you follow that? That upset feeling is like a symbol. You can use it as a symbol that you're believing in a falsehood right now. Okay. Look, you won't mind how long it takes. You totally won't even mind how long it takes. Once you see that there is no such thing as time. And also, once you're reaping the benefits, once you start reaping the benefits of it, as in you experience the illusion as being gentle with you, kind and gentle. As you experience the illusion like that, and you witness all the healing that comes through you, there's no hurry. There's no hurry. And at the same time, it's urgent in that in this moment, you're willing to lay down whatever it is that doesn't serve you, whatever it is that's causing that upset feeling, whatever thought says that you're justified in being upset right now. Because you're not. And that's the thing. And it's not like a way to be mean. It's not like being mean to you, saying that. It's just letting you know that so that you can see. Once you're willing to consider that, like if you're just willing to consider, maybe I'm not really upset for the reason I think. Maybe you're just willing to consider it. Maybe I'm not really upset for that reason. Then the Spirit's going to guide you. That's just how that works. But if you want to stay committed to what you made out to be reality, then you can't hear from the Spirit. There's no way you can hear from the Spirit, because if you're committed to an ego mindset, it's kind of like it's loud. You know how the Spirit's voice is called a still small voice? Well, it's kind of like that ego voice is loud. It's a loud voice. So you can't hear the Spirit's voice over that voice. So it's like, as long as you're interested in that voice, it's going to be louder. See, here's the thing. You have the power of attention. So you don't have to pursue that voice. You can pursue the Spirit's voice. It's basically, if you see something, if you have an upset feeling, you feel irritated or something, like some people say, oh, that I can't stand listening to that person's voice. It's so irritating. It's like you're making an interpretation that something is irritating. So you're not really irritated for the reason that you think you're irritated. That's like a projection is trying to throw the cause of the irritation outside of yourself, so that you don't have to see that you made yourself irritated by the way you think. Okay, because you take things to be true that aren't true. So that's all it is. So, I use everything like that. Like I've shared with you guys before, I think, about my husband's vacuuming. Like when he's vacuuming, it's like for some reason, the sound of the vacuum, it gives me an opportunity to like, okay, check in. And it's interesting because, we've been in this house for about 1.5 years. And one time I had yoga up in my bedroom because it was so cold. I was like, I'm just going to close all the windows. I'm usually having yoga practice on the lanai. So I'm just going to close all the windows and have it in here. He starts with that vacuum, and oh my God, there was so much irritation. It was so good that I was doing yoga at the time, because, it really like just like gave me an outlet right there. Because I was just like, and then over time, a lot of the times I don't even hear it. I don't even realize that he vacuums. Today he vacuumed while I was laying down. I was just taking like a little power nap before Wisdom Dialogue, like a 20-minute power nap. And he vacuumed for that. And you know what? It was just like the vacuum was there, but I have power of attention. So it's like I just put my attention where I want my attention to go. And the vacuum isn't a problem. It's like we irritate ourselves. We make ourselves irritated. It doesn't matter what it is that's arising in the perception. We make ourselves irritated. And I got to say, I'm really glad that he vacuum, you guys, because there were feathers, bird feathers all over this place. There was a total massacre last night, apparently. It was my cat. We call him El Gato, also known as the cat. And he is apparently a bird hunter. So I'm super grateful. My husband cleaned all that up, and it's nice and tidy out here for Wisdom Dialogues. So what should you do? So we've said before that the doing is basically a seeing. So that seeing is doing, that observation. Okay, so it's like when you recognize, when you notice what you're using to hurt you, that is the action. That's like the action. Okay, you have a choice in everything. You have a choice to see that, to look at that. Are you willing to look at it? That's the question. Are you willing to look at what is irritating you, or what is making you feel angry, or what is making you feel sad? Are you willing to look at that? You know, what a lot of people do is look at their life. It's not in your life. It's not about your fucking life. That thing doesn't even exist. Okay. It's nothing about your life. Look, certain things about your life may change, may or may not change automatically. Certain things about your life may change. What's going to change is going to be the way you're looking at it and what you're using it for. When you're using your life for what you intended to use it for, it's glorious. You don't mind. You don't mind what it is. I mean, sure, things will change automatically. Your relationships are working out much better. You're able to relate with people because now you understand what the relationship is for. See? But first, the purification. And you know, what I noticed is that we all hit certain blockages where we're not willing to be purified in a certain area. And the manifestation is always showing us where that is. Okay. You know, we get these ideas, we get these even scientific ideas, whatever, you know. I have an example. I get the idea that I have the best essential oils in the world, Miracle Botanicals, best essential oils. As we source our essential oils, you know, this is the story. And you know, in the illusion, it's true, right? Okay. But there's no truth to anything. It's just a story. So we're sourcing the best essential oils in the world. We don't use any synthetics. Our stuff smells and feels like earth, like the earth, like natural, like you can eat it, you know. It's beautiful stuff. So when I get the perception of someone using a synthetic oil, I'm immediately like, ugh, like that thing. Something's wrong. I saw that movie Stink. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. I was invited to a party. I don't usually go and watch movies like this. It's pretty funny. But I was invited to a movie watching party, and I watched this movie called Stink, and it's all about how these chemicals are so freaking bad for you. Like they're just freaking killing you. These chemicals in all of these synthetic fragrances, right? So I'm going, yeah, this is like a commercial for my company. Like you could just like take a clip from that thing and put Miracle Botanicals on it, and boom, that's a good commercial right there. So anyways, you know, I naturally just feed into that kind of mindset, like, you know, something in the world is a threat like this, you know, in this instance, because like I have the best stuff, right? And this week that was just like something like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to surrender that. I'm just going to surrender that whole thing. Because I noticed how it makes me like what would the word be? Maybe it would be a word like catty. And you know, that doesn't resonate for me. I just like see that. It's like, oh, Well, that's because I hold on to this thing. It's just like obvious. Okay, that's the only reason there would be a reaction like that. All right, would say something like, it's not that like that synthetic fucking oil that she has over here. So it's like, you just see something and you go, oh, the manifestation is for teaching your mind what you're taking is true. So it's like, oh, what am I taking is true? That would make me, basically I felt mean or kind of like jabby, and that's not a feeling I wish to share. Right. So automatically it just allows you to see what it is you're holding on to. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm willing to surrender that about that. I don't want to feed into that mindset that some synthetic fragrance is going to kill you. Another thing is like, you could say that it's like, Drew, I'm the smell doesn't resonate with me. The aroma doesn't resonate with you. Fine. That's fine. It's just not like it's not like it's a problem. And some people may like it, even though it's synthetic. I know plenty of people, awesome people who use synthetic fragrances, and you know what? They like them. So, it's like, I could just like smell a synthetic fragrance and pass it on and not have an opinion, not hold an opinion about it. So just like seeing what can be released. It's like noticing, okay, that's ready to be released. There it is. It's just like shows itself to you. And hooray for that. It's like constantly awakening, because it's constantly letting these things go, these ideas about yourself. And that's basically, what do you do? Yeah, you definitely don't need to change anything about your life. That's a distraction. That's distracting you. Now, if you're adamant that I cannot focus on this or anything else unless I get this change in my life, well, you can't help it. You're going to go for that change. You're going to go for that life change. And then who knows, maybe then you will go and calm down. Or, what happens a lot of the times, because this is a habit, it just keeps on going again and again. It goes to the next, to the next, to the next. And, it's like we keep on putting off our awakening. Why? There's no reason for that, because in the awakening is joy, and the deeper the joy, the more of a you could say a useful prayer. I mean, they're all useful, even if they seem like they're an illusory prayer, like, God, please give me more money, or God, please strike that person dead so I don't have to deal with them. That's like a prayer in, equally, those are really like prayers in the illusion. There's no really difference between the two. God, help me to take a good shit tomorrow morning. It's the same as all those things. But the prayer that's meaningful, that allows you to see and really, you escape the trappings of illusion, really quickly, is the prayer to see, just to see clearly, not for anything in the illusion, not for more money, not for better sex, not for a nicer partner, not for anything that you think the illusion can bring you. It's manifesting for one thing. It's only manifesting for one thing, and that thing is setting you free if you seize the opportunity. It's allowing you freedom. It unchains you. Aloha, Kai. I love you. Thank you for joining. Yay. Oh, Kai, you had a question. That's right. What was that question? I'm going to look it up. Hmm. Oh, yeah. There, 7 replies. Okay. If we have to, Kai, I was wondering if we have to understand how the mind works before we can understand the nature of illusion. Yay. Thank you for driving and joining. That's so fun, Kai. So what I said is, it seems to me like those two things go in tandem. And the way they come about is through forgiveness of the illusions. I mean, I love to have that spiritual contemplation. I think it's wonderful. It's like, oh, does this happen first or does this happen first? From my experience, it seems to happen in tandem. It doesn't really matter. It's one of those things that doesn't really matter too. It's like one of those things that we just wonder about because it's fun. Um, but really, it's like forgiveness of the illusion will bring both of those things about in whatever order they need to be, or at the same time, or whatever, however it goes for you. The main thing, and what we get distracted from so easily, is what a miracle is. Anne knows what a miracle is, don't you, Anne? Anne knows what a miracle is. So a miracle is when you establish in your mind that you dream a dream and none of its content is true. So that's like, kind of like all you need to know at any time, So I find myself sitting with a friend and I feel like I'm kind of done with that friend. I'm ready for her to leave, right? And these feelings, they're just passing. They're not me. I don't identify with them, but I get this feeling. And then I get like this sense that my mind is shooting out to her mind. It's time to go, time to go, time to go. And she's talking and I can't hear her. And this thing is doing this. And I'm just kind of smiling because I'm laughing at the play of that thing. And then, because it's not a thing to me, it just like drops off. It just drops off. And then I'm back in the flow with my friend, like just not having that, it's like these things, everything's so passing. And, it's kind of like, you could say I apply like a yin yoga principle to stuff like that, because when you're in a yin yoga pose, sometimes it can be kind of intense, like not just the intensity where, your mind is trying to race off and you're putting your attention back into the sensation that you're having, but also like a physical sensation of intensity, right? So you'll feel like you need to move. You feel like I need to move. And so in yin yoga, they say, okay, let that feeling like you need to move come, and then let it pass, and then let it come again. And then once it comes the third time, then check in, see if the movement is required. See? So what we most often do is get a feeling or a sensation arise and go, just jump right on that and grab that. And then we can find ourselves talking over the person for like a whole whatever, oh God, why doesn't she just stop talking? Why doesn't she just get, remember, you're projecting everything, so including the person that's in front of you. So, whatever story is being told, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. And so, and then it just like in allowing it to pass. And then I don't know how much more time passed, but we were just having a lovely conversation for a while. And then it was just like naturally, she just like got her wallet and it was time for her to go, and it was like, I was totally over that feeling already that I wanted her to go. See? So the mind is crazy. It's always jumping around, doing different things. And, your only purpose is to be there, like present wherever you are, be here, you could say, present wherever you are for the fluctuations, for the show, for your reactions, for the thoughts that are coming through, to be there for all of that. It's not saying you can't. And I don't know, I think sometimes people get a misunderstanding when I'm talking like this, because it seems to me that sometimes people think they have to stay in a certain relationship, or they have to avoid getting a restraining order, because what that would mean. And, what I'm saying is none of this stuff is meaningful. All of it is meaningless. So it's not to try to avoid doing anything. It's just to watch and observe as you find yourself going through any kind of emotions. It doesn't matter what it is. So, this is not to like tempt your ego. Like if you're like, you get this sense like, wow, this person's really dangerous. Okay, I'm gonna, I'm gonna see if I get, but you're really like in fear about it. It's like you have to do the things that you have to do. You don't have a choice. And that's where a lot of suffering comes in for people when they go, when they'll try to resist what is naturally manifesting through them. They try to resist that because they think they shouldn't be doing it. Anything that you feel like you need to hide from other people, that's what you're hiding from yourself. So it's like anything about your life or anything like that, if you feel like you need to hide it from people, you're hiding it only from yourself. So notice that. Even little things like, there's a box of donuts in the kitchen, and you go up to the box of donuts and you're like, oh, I want to try this donut. And then all of a sudden someone walks in and you find yourself moving as if to try to hide the donut. Just notice that. Just notice how you're reacting as if the illusion is the truth. And it's not to judge or condemn or anything like that. You're going to just start to see what kind of things you're believing about yourself to make that kind of interpretation, that kind of reaction to having someone see you eat a donut. I love it. I love it. I noticed a slight bit of defensiveness in myself. Someone will say something to me, and the tone of my voice. I'll just notice a tone in my voice. I noticed when I was at the farmer's market, I was gonna grab a couple of these dried bananas, and I was thinking, well, what size do you have? She said, I have one size. And I go, how much is it? She goes, $10. And I go, $10. And I just heard myself. I heard the inflection in my voice, and I was like laughing. And just noticing that thing, that is the action. That's all the action that's needed. You don't have to try to get yourself to be better, say things better or anything like that. You just notice. So we have to see ourselves from the outside. Well, that's one way to put it. One way to look at it is like this too. There's nothing outside of you. So seeing it as if you're inside of a body and inside of this world is kind of like a dangerous way of seeing things. It's hurtful to your mind. It's totally bleak. It's as if these laws of the world actually apply to you, which basically means that you are destined for death. I mean, geez, these laws are totally make believe. We made them up. So we're asking for release from this. You could say from our soul level or spirit level, we're asking for release from this, and the help is coming. One through myself. The help is coming. It's like here it is. Here's the message. Here's what you need to escape from this misery that you made for yourself. And make no mistake about it, heading on a course toward death is total misery. But when you're using the life to transcend the life, that's glorious. That's living gloriously. It's living in grace. You don't, you don't have an interest in how it goes, because you know that it's always going in your favor. See? And in that, you're allowing your mind to be purified. Ultimately, the thought of death will be purified. All these things, everything we see on the news, if you watch the news, I don't know, I don't have TV, and it's not really interesting to me at this point. I go through periods. Sometimes I'll be checking it out, and I'm always doing the same thing with everything that I'm drawn toward, though. I'm always doing the same thing. I'm always using it for healing. So it doesn't matter to me what I'm drawn toward. But with a state of the world and the news and all of that information coming into the world, it's like into our mind, I should say, our shared mind. It's like there's all these huge opportunities to see that we're making this. We don't have to make it like this anymore. It all comes down to our malevolent thoughts. And I'm telling you, most of them are like that. Most of them are like that. So it's like getting overview of what we're making real. So getting an overview. So yeah, Kai, it's like if you're if what you're perceiving, like the body is projected within you. And a sense of being in the body is also projected in you. It's a projected sense. The sense that you're in a body is a mental sense. So yes, it's like you've heard of detachment. You've probably heard the term take a step back. It's like you get a broader, you're allowing yourself to have a broader view of the whole thing. But in order for that to happen, you have to be willing to forgive illusions, which is basically you're denying any power to them. You're not denying power to the illusion. So again, I'm seeing things about aging. It might be because in the illusion, I'm like 49, and the people around my age like have this on my on their mind. I don't know, but I also know that it's my projection and it's for me. So I'm always looking at whatever it is that's coming in and noticing how it inspires me. And I just got so inspired this week when someone wrote a post about how they looked in the mirror, and when they looked in the mirror, they thought, wow, I really need to do something. I really need to do something. I really need to take care of myself, maybe get some Botox or something. Damn, I just like caught a glimpse of myself, and I looked much older than I was before. And then, they got really rebellious. They got real rebellious about that and said, you know what? No, fuck that. I bring it on. Bring on all the wrinkles, bring on all the aging, let me get old. And then someone else chimes in and says, yeah, what my take on that is? Good. Bring death on sooner. I want to get the fuck out of here. So here's the thing, you guys. That is one step in the direction. That is one step in the direction. Okay, I'm pissed. I don't want to fuck with this anymore. Okay, I've been doing this my whole life. Now I'm about 50 years old, and I don't want to fuck with this thing anymore. I just want to say, you know what? I'm an old bag. Get over it, world. All right, that's what's going on. This thing's just wrinkling up. Gonna whip. I don't know. Blow away. Turn to ashes and blow away. So the thing is, this perceived destiny that we have, that's not it. That's not it. Again, wrinkles are not inevitable. I don't care how many of them you see on my face, your friend's face, your grandpa's face. I don't care. They're not inevitable. Do not believe what your eyes think, what your eyes seem to be bringing back to you. You made those eyes up. They're not even real. Okay. They're perceiving at the world as you want to perceive it. What we're looking for is what we see, what we've been looking for in thoughts. Okay. So we have been conditioned to believe that there's a natural aging process. We have been conditioned to believe that these cycles are real, like the cycles of birth and death. They are not real. They are not necessary. They don't need to continue. We're pushing them forward by believing in things and not taking that action that I was talking about, the action of observing. You can also say it's a choice. I put it that way before, you guys. I say it a lot of different ways because there's a lot of different ways that you can use with your inner teacher to interpret it. Okay. Remember that nothing I'm saying is true, but you take it to your inner teacher and ask. Okay. And then you know it for yourself, and not so much in words, but I kind of poke around it. It's like a point to a different way of saying it. This choice is the same thing as observing. So you're willing to observe what's making you react like that to an illusion. Your willingness there to observe, that is the choice, and that's all it is. That's all you ever have to do. Yay, someone joined me who wants to talk about sex today. This is fun. Hooray, it's us.
Hi, Hope.
Yay, thank you for joining, my love.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, much better. It was very quiet before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good. We're loud now.
Hi, sorry, I thought it was at 8 o'clock.
Oh, well, maybe I said 8 o'clock and I didn't know. Sometimes
it's all good. The time, it's all messed
You're right
up.
on time. You're always right on time. So you come to talk about sex.
Yes.
How fun. It's such a fun topic.
Yeah.
So sexual fantasy in particular. Go on, tell us about it.
Yeah, I don't have anything specific, but I mean, as you know, it's been a pattern for quite a few years now where I just get so wrapped up about a guy every single time, no matter who it is, a new guy, and then I just get wrapped up in these fantasies about what I want to do with him and how it's going to be magical. And I get so wrapped up in the feeling. And then by the time I know it, hours have passed by. Where that's all I've thought about.
Yeah. And so basically your mind was blank.
Yeah.
It's like an escape. It's like an escape. So when you're in it, do you notice how it's hurting your mind?
No, because it feels good in my body.
Okay. So the good feeling in your body, you don't have to sacrifice that. You do not have to sacrifice anything that's awesome. And you don't have to sacrifice anything really, because really all you're going to surrender is the idea that your pleasure can come from something like that, from anything in the world. And that makes everything so much more spontaneous. You're going to be spending less time dreaming, see, and more time connecting. Like when you did that story about the dude with the tattoo guy, you can't connect with him that whole time.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That's very, very clear.
Yeah. So it's like you can think of it, how is that loving to him? And I'm sure you're gonna get some horny ass guys go, that's loving to me, do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like
you're not gonna have a problem there.
Yeah, that's where I even get confused, because I'm like, oh, guys associate sex with love, so I am showing them love through sex. And
right.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah, and you remember, love is one. So, idolizing and stuff like that. And, people have practiced things of like, trying to look at the body like it's disgusting. Well, if you like really, if you look at it with a critical eye, I guess it's pretty disgusting. It's like pretty stinky, and we put good smelling stuff on it to make it smell better. The shits and breath, whatever. If if you cut it, it's open, it's really messy. I mean, you know, and you know, I don't like that. That never really appealed to me. I mean, it might appeal to some people. It never really appealed to me, but for me, it was just noticing that I'm I'm going into an attack. It's like an attack mode. Because you know, I think I can use that body for something.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense because I do notice that in my mind too, that it's personal gratification for myself. Like I want to use their body just so I can get off.
Yeah, you're using their body for that. And that's not what you want to use their body for.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
See?
Man, this one has been a hook for me for
Yeah,
quite some time.
you may get the perception that your life actually improves dramatically when you stop fantasizing. I mean, that's my experience.
I noticed that too, Hope. Like when I was backpacking the past few months, I didn't
Yeah.
give two fucks about getting laid, and I was getting laid all the time with ease. Like I didn't even have to go look for the guys. They just showed up and it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, everything you need is coming.
Yes.
All right. So you don't have to waste time in fantasy, any kind of, and you know what? And you don't have to not waste time in fantasy. Like if you want to waste time in fantasy, go ahead. It's just that it is wasting time, and I think you want to know that.
Yeah. And
Because
that's another thing I recognize too is like hours will go by and it's a totally different feeling than when I'm meditating and I'm spending time making art or journaling. It's a totally different vibe rather than like the good feeling I'm getting in my body temporarily. So I can see how it is wasting time. I'm not really gaining anything from the situation. I'm just lost in thought.
hmm yeah, so like for me, when I was getting like the sexual fantasy hooks, and I was getting that sexual fantasy hooks, I would just allow myself to have that good feeling. Okay, give me that good feeling that I'm looking for. And I allow myself to have that good feeling without the thought, and notice that the feeling actually goes much deeper and it is beyond sexuality.
Okay.
It's sensual, but it's deeper than the sexual feeling. And what's really interesting and fascinating about it is that you see that it can be sustained without thought.
Okay.
See, so what looks like you might be sacrificing some temporary gratification. What you're moving toward is this sustained sense of bliss and pleasure constantly coursing through your body.
Yeah. Yeah,
See,
I hear you.
yeah. And it's all mental because there is no body. So basically that's like it's like pointing you to what has been called the thread of bliss. Okay. So you don't have to give up any kind of good feeling. It's just to go deeper. In order to go deeper and awaken, and perform miracles, you're being asked to give up what is meaningless. But first, you have to see that it's meaningless before you're willing to do that. So I suspect that the next time you're having a sexual fantasy, something's going to go a little bit different. There's going to be a different kind of action. And each time there's going to be a different kind of action until you see that as not being anything that's useful to you.
Yeah. You explained this all very, very well.
Well, I'm glad you had me do it like that.
And I'm so glad that you are always here to call me out of my shit. I love it.
Well, and you know what? The funny thing is, I don't surf the Facebook wall very often. And your post just happened to be right there. Like it was like Facebook knew. I'm not sure. Facebook knew that I needed to. That I needed to see that and you needed me to see that.
Oh yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, look at Goda. Right.
Oh
her
god.
her post was fabulous and had really fun comments on it. People were getting turned on. She can do a steamy sexual post here. So she's talking about how she's getting this tattoo, and the whole time she's getting the tattoo, she's like projecting this sexual fantasy onto the tattoo guy. Like he's like slamming her up against the wall and doing all stuff to her. and and I guess it didn't happen, right, Goda? He didn't do anything.
No, nothing
Okay,
happened. He
so
was
he
married.
didn't. Nothing happened. He didn't do anything, and so she's talking about. So this doesn't just happen to guys. I am sexual fantasizing all the time, and I'm like, yeah, the ego is not sexist, okay? The sexual fantasy come to everyone. The ego is good. You're gonna hook you into sexual fantasy. It does not matter what sex you are. If you're bisexual, trisexual, whatever.
Trisexual.
What was one I met recently? Oh my gosh, I was driving down the highway and there's this guy. I know him. I met him before. He's in these little tiny shorts. And then he's got another friend with him. I'm like, hold on. I was talking with Leah. Hold on, I gotta pick up these gay dudes on the side of the road, and I jump in and I go, are you gay too, to the other guy? And he said, no, what is the word? Quad? No, it wasn't trisexual, but it pretty much meant, I'm not a loss for the word right now. If someone knows, let me know. But it meant that he was totally open to whatever. Love is love.
Is it pansexual?
That's it. Pansexual. That was a new one for me. I was like, oh, thank you for sharing that with me. I'll tell you what, those couple miles we went, they were very entertaining. It was some good stuff. Okay. Robert Glutzam, I'm interested in wasting time. Art isn't meant, but sexual fantasy. Okay. So here's the thing, Robert. Fantasy. Okay. So we go into fantasy land. This is the habit of the mind. Goda, I'm going to mute you for now, but raise your hand if you want to come back.
Perfect.
Okay? Awesome. So mental fantasy. This is the thing. This is what we do all the time. You can make it sexual. You can make it about money. I noticed, I just applied for a loan, and if a loan gets approved, it will pay off credit cards and different stuff and like whatever. So I'll notice my mind going into a fantasy about that. That's the same as sexual fantasy. That's the same thing. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's not any different. It gets you a reaction. It gets you a physical reaction. It gets you a reaction in the body, right? It's not really physical. It's actually mental, but you sense it physically. You can sense it physically anyways. Consciousness is always sensing it. A lot of people are disconnected from those projected feelings. But that's the same, no matter what you're having a fantasy about, that is a fantasy. Okay, so it's an escape. It's escapism. It's like resistance to the moment. The moment is calling for what the moment is calling for, and it's bringing you the manifestation. Remember, it's bringing you exactly what you need all the time. So there's never any need to go into a fantasy. There's the consideration of, okay, if this money comes in, then we'll do this. It does not need to be. See, what happens is it wants to come back again. And that's what I noticed in my own mind. It wants to come back again and become a fantasy. Oh, this and this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, leave it alone. Let things play out. They're all playing out perfectly. They're all going as they need to do. Leave all the things alone. Okay. And not trying to interfere with your own with your own expression, and at the same time noticing where your expression is coming from. From where is it coming? Like if you notice yourself being mean or nagging, watching the other person's reaction to you is very instructive. Watching their reaction to you, like say they're leaving something out of place and that bothers you. You feel bothered by it. You don't notice you feel bothered by it being out of place. So when you go and talk to them and ask them to put that in the place where you would like to see it, they feel you and they react to you. That's how you find out you were disturbed by where you saw that thing. You didn't realize it was in the perfect place. You were feeling disturbed. See, a lot of people are not willing to get this. They're not even willing to get this. I've had friends say, Hope, you know what? I love you. You're awesome. Thank you for everything you share. But there's no way I'm going to take responsibility for the things in my perception. I'm not going to take responsibility for the things I perceive. I'm not taking responsibility for these evil people that are doing blah, 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 blah. Well, the thing is, there's no one doing anything. And I know, like, not all of you are going to accept the gift in this lifetime. All of you are going to, but not all of you are going to accept the gift in this lifetime, because you're going to refuse to let go of certain concepts that you have. You're gonna refuse to let go of an idea that there is a world outside of yourself. For one, I know it's scary. Believe me, I know. And your unfolding can be really gentle and slow. And what people do is get disturbed about it being gentle and slow and go, I just want this to hurry up. And then that adds up tension in the mind and makes it seem like it's even more intense. Let it go slow. Let it seem to go slow. You're actually saving time whenever you're letting it seem to go slow. So, interesting paradox, right? It's like whenever you think it's going slow, you're actually saving time. And you're actually saving time if you're not buying into that. But if you're buying into that it's going too slow and I just need to be enlightened, I can't take this anymore. I have one friend sharing that with me, that I just need to, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? It's like, man, let's just get off of all the shoulds. Chill out right where you are. None of those thoughts have any power over you. None of them can harm you. None of them can do any harm to you. So you guys see what I mean now when I'm talking about how what the deal is with a sexual fantasy. It's the same as any other fantasy. You could be fantasizing about someone getting murdered that you don't like. You can be fantasizing about how a conversation is going to go tomorrow. You can be fantasizing about a conversation that you think you had before. No, notice nothing really happens. Like, we don't really have conversations. We think we have conversations. That's very different. Okay. It seems real because we take these bodies to be real. Like, you're over there, we're over here, we're really having this life, but we only think we have conversation. And we make a manifestation of it like it's really real, and then we play into that. So like nothing happened before. There's nothing to think about. I'll have a past scenario come into my mind and it'll seem to be troublesome, and it's like, thank goodness that didn't even happen. I don't need to hash that. I don't need to hash that out. See, everything that needs to be revealed to me is just revealed to me in the moment. I don't need to even look back on it. It's the same for you. You don't even need to look back on it. And when you find your mind looking back on it, you're getting a reaction. So let that reaction be felt. Let that reaction be fully embraced. See? In that, you'll see. Aloha. Let's see. Did I let him talk? Ask to unmute. I pressed on it, but yeah, I think you have to unmute yourself because I unmuted you on my end already. What fun. Okay, just start talking whenever you're on, Kai. I love you. So knowing yourself. What does knowing yourself mean? Well, there's a couple different ways of looking at it. Number one, knowing yourself as in you are all, you are one, you are love. You don't know yourself. That's why you have a perception of this world. Okay. Isn't that good? And then there is the projected self. There's a projected self with its interests, with its sensitivities, with its likes, with its dislikes, anything like that. You know, you get to know what those are through the lifetime. You get to know what those are, and you know, it's really something because everyone's wired differently. Everyone is meant to express in a different way, so it can all fit in perfectly with the awakening as one. So everyone's natural way of being and being in the world and relating is going to be different, and we're not meant to be in any one little box. We're not meant to be compared to others. We're not meant to be comparing ourselves. It's like getting to know what it is, you know. It was shown to me that there has to be an amount of relaxation in my mind, just like enabled to relax everything. So what occurs in my perception is like a lot of physical relaxing kind of activities, yoga, bath, plenty of self massage, plus non-self massage, all these different kinds of things. My husband, on the other hand, the tension in his mind relaxes, and he seems to be more of a doer kind of wiring. Like it's just like he knows he's not doing it, and yet all of this physical manifestations seem to be coming out of him. And the thing is, there's no difference between us. Like my physical form and body isn't really separate from any other form and body that I see anywhere. And it's always going to be made to express in a different way. It's always, you know, and when I used to fight against that, because I would compare myself to him, when I used to fight against that, I would be suffering because I would be thinking that I should be doing more, like pulling more of my share and everything like that. And, you know, and that was never coming from him, although it did seem like it was from time to time coming from him, but it was never coming from him. As soon as I took the initiative and just said, you know what, that's not for me. This is for me right now. This is what I'm into. Then, you know, he just showed me that's perfect for him. Perfectly fine for him. I just wondered, what motivates you to do wisdom dialogues? Well, you know, it's always love. Like you could be motivated by love or fear. So I guess you could say if I was motivated to do wisdom dialogues because I was worried about you, that would be fear. The way wisdom dialogues is for me is it's an opportunity to extend love, and I really enjoy talking about this stuff. I don't have to. Like, I don't uh say, okay, I have to do wisdom dialogues. It's like, it's just something that seems to be flowing and natural. So the only way any part of it would be coming from fear would be if I was worried about you guys, like I thought you weren't going to make it, or you needed me to save you, or I have something to teach you, or um, I have something to give you that you don't already have. uh, yeah, it's kind of like our roles that we find ourselves in the world. Like, some people refer to me as their teacher, which is fine with me. That's not something that I try to represent, like I'm your teacher or I'm even a teacher, right? um I would say it's more like I'm guided to share this, and anyone who wants to listen can. And if no one's listening, I don't need to. I just like, basically what you guys are getting is a stream of consciousness. So I could have that all by myself. Like, I could have that without an audience, let's say. I'm never all by myself, though. I always have mighty, mighty companions. But I don't need an audience for that, because it's, basically I'm sharing with you like one snippet of a stream of consciousness, but I'm basically in wisdom dialogues all the time. I mean, sometimes I deviate out of it to like do some worky type stuff, like some stuff for Miracle Botanicals. But even in that, I keep on coming back to it. Like, I'm getting messages all the time through it because I'm making a point to keep the whole thing open. So wisdom dialogues, you can say, is just a natural flow. It's like a gift. It's like a gift to myself. Yeah, because like sharing it and having that benefit of feedback and hearing from people who say that they have gotten so much relief. Also, I feel that relief because that's my mind. I feel that relief. I sense that relief. All of that ripples back to me, right? You could say everything I do is completely selfish. Because everything I do ripples back to me. And that's how it is for everyone, really. Everything you do. And, again, in the doing, it's the way you are looking at it. That's the doing. It's the way I'm taking it. It's the way I'm taking wisdom dialogues. Do I have a gift to bestow on you? No, you already have it. You already have it. All I'm doing is pointing. I'm pointing you toward your inner guide so that you can hear. You can become familiar with what that voice is like. You can kind of like catch a vibe, catch a scent of it. That's why I say nothing that I say is true. Nothing that I say is true. So yeah, that's why there's no need for wisdom dialogues to do anything or be anything. It's not like I have a goal with it. I don't have any plan with it. It's not supposed to be the whatever. I don't know. Number one talk show on whatever. I don't know. It's just it's just an invitation. Let's say it's an invitation to my friends to join and share in the relaxation. Yeah, I love it when my friends get relaxed. That's why I've been offering this week, and people have been taking me up on it. I think it was last week where I said on this or somewhere, I said, hey, you guys, if you think you're sick, or you think you're in a struggle and you just like me to come over, I'll come over. So I had a couple friends ask me to come over, and it's been really awesome. I really appreciate just coming over, just go over for a couple hours, visit with my friends. They let me know what they think is bothering them. And as much as they're open for, I share with, as far as like speaking with them, as much as they're open for. Can definitely sense that. So and mostly just being there with it, listening, just for listening, because people will tell their story, and there's a deeper listening that there is when someone's telling their story. And in that, it's the same kind of thing, the motivated, it's the same kind of like vibe or energy, it's love motivating me toward healing and joining with others, so-called others, who are interested in the same thing. It's kind of like if I was going to go, okay, I'm really awesome at baking this bread. I am, by the way. I'm really amazing at making sourdough bread. Hey, you want to come over and see how I do it? Or I just like feel motivated to like make a video. Here, you guys want to make this bitchin' ass sourdough bread? Look, here's video how to do it. Like sometimes you just get motivated for sharing something. It's just the same. It's the same like that. But to me, and for me, this is the most important thing that can be shared. I love to share about my bread too. That's fun too. And this is the most important thing that can be shared. It doesn't have to be shared like this, although I have been given a gift in this way. I know I've been given a gift in this way because people tell me that. How else would I know? How else would I know? Because people tell me that you have a gift in this way. You can explain things in this way and help me to see in this way and help me to get relaxation in this way. So it's not going to be the same for everyone. Also the way my personality is wired, I freaking love attention, and I can do without it. I don't have to have it. I also don't need it. So it's fine. It's fine with me either way. It's like I can also like sit around and just be quiet and not have anyone looking at me. And if people looking at me needs to be the thing, fine. I love attention too. So, it's like, you find yourself doing whatever it is that you're kind of like wired to do. You can say you're kind of like wired to do that. You let those talents and those whatever be used by your spirit. You have my attention. Oh, Kai. Thank you, Kai. I love you. You have my attention too, my loves. Oh. Oh. So yeah, it's really interesting. And for a couple minutes, and I can blow through stuff too. That's another thing. Just like noticing, like some people blow through stuff, some people don't, some people go slower. So I got this someone said something about a human design. I don't know what the heck happened, but all of a sudden I was in a human design whirlwind. It's like I'll go, oh, this is interesting, and I'll go and just study the shit out of it until it's like, okay, got the full download on that. And it was amazing because the way that's used with my inner guide to show me what's going on in my mind. It's showing, that my inner guide is just showing me, look, everyone is so freaking unique. It's like, and it just like kind of opened me up more to, okay, just like allowing this uniqueness in each person. That's why you would allow anyone to be however they are. Say they seem like they're messy, they leave shit all over the place, and you're a cleaner kind of person. That's a situation like we have with me and my husband. So my husband just like goes, okay, you leave stuff all over the place, and I'm really good at cleaning, so just leave your stuff all over the place and I'll come around and clean it. Some people might say, oh, that sucks. Like, why would I want to be that person? And my husband might have felt like that at a point in time, like, hey man, why do I have to do it, everything? And then, once you're releasing mental tension, you realize what your design is, to use human design kind of terminology. You realize what your design is, and you can just accept that. And so it's like happily, like, oh yeah, I'm that one. I do that really well. I don't have to bring concepts into it and say, why aren't you doing this? Also in our experience, I'm the one who manages the money, and when things seem like they're heavy, when things seem like they're intense with the money, I might get a thought like, oh, well, why doesn't he fucking do that? Why do I have to be the one with this kind of stress? And then, immediately when I see that thought, I notice I'm only putting stress on myself right there with that thought. I'm making it up right there. And then it's like, relax. And then it's easy to see, of course, I'm the one that's in charge of the money. I'm just good at that. It's easy. It's natural for me. It's like, obviously it's like you just kind of like fit in these little things, and you know what, and holding them openly. It's not like you have to do that. It's not like you have to stay in any role. You think you have to stay in a role, and that makes suffering for you, because you will stay in that role just as long as you need, until you need a different manifestation. You need a different role to help awaken your mind. But whatever it is that you find yourself in, that's just perfect for you. And it doesn't mean you can't get out of it too. It might be going in that direction, just like being open to it. Because if you're just allowing yourself to be joyful, it's going in exactly the way it needs to go. It's going toward exactly what you need. Okay. So no need to try and get out of anything. Be right where you are with openness to seeing another way of looking at it, another way of being with that circumstance, or that sense that you have something to get out of at all. Chitta, you want me to talk about Freedom Dialogue Cafe? Okay, Chitta and I have an idea. I think Chitta and I kind of had the idea at the same time, and then we came together and we started talking about it. For Freedom Dialogue Cafe, Freedom Cafe. We thought it would be fun to open up a place in town, kind of like an answer to the bakery that just opened in town, where you're probably going to have to show a vaccine passport to get in, to get baked goods. And I've been baking lately, so thinking about opening a shop. It's Freedom Cafe, where you can you can wear a mask in there. I don't know, Chitta might want to be like, you can't wear a mask, but I like to have people like be completely free to do it however they want. Like if they want to wear a mask, some to certain people, that fear is like really real to them. I know my friend Casey, she thinks she has a pre-existing condition. She thinks she has a lung thing. She loves wisdom dialogues. If she wants to wear a mask, she can definitely come in with a mask on. It's like, that's totally good. I'm not saying that anyone should not wear a mask. It's not like that at all. It's more like just giving people the freedom, giving people a space and freedom to be how they want. For me, I'm good with them not having any shorts on too, or underwear. I'm all good with that. I'm all fine with that. And if we're talking about this is going to be a PMA, we might as well just take it all the way and go full whatever. Private membership association. Yeah, it basically, I don't know a whole lot about it to be able to speak on it, but from what I do know about it, it's like your own place and you do whatever you want there, and you're not subject to municipal laws. You're only subject to, basically the law of the land is like do no harm kind of thing. But you're not subject to like municipal laws. So yeah, I would be also have it like clothing optional, everything. You can wear a mask, you could be naked. You'd be naked with a mask on. I would love that. I would get a photo of that for sure. Post it to my comedy channel. COVID comedy channel. um, it's a sign. She had an idea for a sign that says "Smiles spoken here." So, it's a nice place to go, and like we could have wisdom dialogues in there, and we can do stuff like that. So, yeah, for right now, it's just like a little baby thing that was coming into our awareness. Little baby idea, inspiration coming into our awareness. I haven't looked into it any further. A lot of the times, another thing, I'll get jazzed up about something and it'll seem like I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it, or I might do it for a little while and then I'm off of it. You guys know me about that. And you know what? I love that about myself. It's not anything that needs to change. That's for sure. I love that about myself. So I don't know if anyone wants to take that idea and run with it. I was thinking maybe a GoFundMe, or looking for some place in town. Who knows? Seeing how there could be a Freedom Cafe in Pahoa town. So it might be fun. Might be fun. Okay, what do we have? A Bob Shine show up? Bob Shine, baby. You are allowed to talk. All you have to do is unmute yourself.
Hello, are you
yes.
hearing me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
You don't allow video?
Oh, would you like to be on video?
Well, I don't need to, but I've never seen anyone else on video. I could, I guess, but it's not necessary. Yeah, we'll just skip the video.
Okay,
so,
I don't know if it's gonna happen anyways, though, because I just pushed a button. We'll see what happens. Oh, Bob Shine, yeah, he's joining as a panelist. He just got cut off. Oh, I guess he comes back on in a second. Here he comes.
Hello? Okay, I'm panelist now or something.
Yes, so if you wanted to have video, you could.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Because the host said stop. Anyway,
I don't know.
Well, whatever. I don't need it. Okay, so you were talking to Goda. I guess she wants to be Freya or something. She's got some new name, Sativa. She's always got a new name. So you were talking to her about this fantasy, like sexual fantasy, or any kind of fantasy that you're going to project into the future that you're not living in the now. But what if you have like a vision or an inspiration or a revelation about the future, that you feel that it's like your destiny, like, and you feel like you have certain ideas and concepts and imagery that fulfill this revelation that you have for the future, that's not completely manifested right now, but you feel that it's something that's developing, that is growing, and that and so then you have different images and thoughts about this revelation that you have. What about something like that?
Well, I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, Bob. Is it like a sexual fantasy kind of revelation?
Well, it could be, but so now there, right. I had posted this. I posted this on my. I posted this on my Facebook, and it talks about what I'm talking about. I just want to read a couple sentences of it.
Okay.
And it says, to fully break the habit of being ourselves, we must say goodbye to cause and effect and embrace the quantum model of reality. In this new paradigm, we choose a potential reality that we want to live it in our thoughts and feelings and get thanks ahead of the actual event. Once we change our internal state, we don't need the external world to provide us with the reason, joy, gratitude, appreciation, or any other elevated emotion. When our body experiences the event as though it's occurring in the present moment, and it feels real to us, based solely on what we're focusing on mentally.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Okay,
I see where that's going.
Then they're saying
that's the part of the new age spirituality that's all about manifesting in the world. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. Okay? You don't know what you want. Time spent in fantasy is time wasted. Period. Okay? And the more you're chasing after you're chasing after an experience, the more you're chasing after an experience, the more time you're going to need to play out the chase experience. Why do you need another experience? Why? And it's like this experience right now that's given you is the means for you to awaken from this dream. So why are you looking for another experience? This experience is for right now, is for awakening from the dream. So why would you look for another experience? See? So this increases the habit of looking outside of yourself. It increases that habit of looking outside of yourself. You know, it's not going to be a problem because you got all the time in the world. Like, how many times do you want to do this? You know, it's not like it's going to be a problem. You can do it if you want. But you know, I've heard you talk about how you'd like to escape. And so, you know, and so I'm guessing that you want to hear this right now. And also, you know, the issues and the troubles you have with these recurring instances where someone thinks you're a perv or sexually inappropriate seems to be coming from this kind of thing exactly. This kind of thing exactly. Drop that. And you won't be that dude. You won't be that creeper dude. Drop that shit. You don't need that. You don't need it. You don't need that fantasy. You don't need those visions. You don't need those sexual visions. Drop them. I mean, does it seem like it's a sacrifice to give that up? Does it seem like it's a big sacrifice to give that up? Huh? Is that something you like a lot and feel like you really need?
Yeah, well, that leads me to this other thing that I wanted to bring that up exactly also. So then I was going through my past posts, and I had this post from September 1st, 2018, like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so what I say here is that I've been experiencing this phenomenon in my life of thinking that people are angered, blaming, shaming, guilting me for things that I was doing that I thought I was innocent of, and then being rejected by them. I've experienced this to varying degrees in my work trade situations where I've been living. People playing into my guilt complexes and believing that they're giving me what I expect. Guilt, shame, blame, punishment, abandonment, rejection. And so then I go into, there's many psychological schools that explore this phenomenon. They talk about you get an imprint or an image or a core agreement or a script from your past that you are broadcasting to the world. Like mine, I discovered was I'll always be shamed, punished, and abandoned. And they talk about it could be a either from your past life.
Why are you sharing this now? Why are you sharing this right now?
Because I'm just saying that you're talking about my present situation. So that's just it. Then I feel as if I've been living with this negative script that keeps repeating over and over again. And that's why in the situation I'm in now, I don't feel any guilt. I feel like this is finally, I've come to the spiritual maturity and development to where I can just feel like I don't feel any negative glitch. I don't feel guilt or shame. I feel freedom now from this. Finally, after this pattern has reoccurred throughout my childhood and into my adulthood up to this present situation, that I feel like now I have the spiritual resources that now I feel like I can completely leave this this habitual pattern behind and be free and claim my innocence, claim my freedom.
Okay. That's that's a great, you know, at that time, you know, and getting those kinds of what you're calling them visions, and could be sexual fantasy kind of visions, at that time that those are coming up, notice you know, what are you trying to escape from that you want to go into a fantasy. You know, it's like it's like this life, this manifestation, what's arising right now is always giving you what you need to escape the dream illusion. Okay. So that's really what everything is for. Even like when you're getting a fantasy or something like that, you don't have to follow that thing. You don't have to do that. You're still going to you're still going to realize, you're going to realize a lot more, because that's really a distraction. So you don't see what it is that you're holding against yourself. Okay. So you're going to get it, keep on taking into consideration that any time you're in fantasy, you're hurting your mind. So like, be willing to come back to yourself. Just be willing to come back to yourself, come back to your sensations, come back to your breathing, come back to awareness of the body sense. See, I know it's not something that people want to give up, because it's a big part of identity. That's not, I mean, that's not everyone, but you know, I experience it in my own consciousness too. Like I was, like I really needed that, you know, but it's like, it's not helpful. It's an escape. And people are going to react to that. So, you know, I mean, of course, you know, Bob, whatever you do, I love you, and whatever you do is fine with me. You know, take it with a grain of salt, keep on experimenting with it, keep on doing that same thing, and watch how the illusion unfolds. You know, it's always teaching you anyway. That is the curriculum. So, you know, it's just like take into consideration, hey, how do I feel when someone asks me to surrender that? Would you give that up? You know, it's like, wait a second, I'm not willing to give that up. See?
Well, they talk about, you know, you put enough energy into something, and then you let it go, and then it manifests. So it's kind of like when I lose my keys, and I spend some time looking for it and everything, and trying to actively imagine where I put them, and physically searching. And then I just give it up and say, well, forget it. And then I forget all about it. And then I sit down on a chair, and I'm sitting down on my keys.
There you go.
So then this is an invitation.
Next thing you know, you're in that, whatever it is. You never know. The thing is, though, get the attention off of trying to make a manifestation in the first place, because in trying to make a certain manifestation and trying to get a certain experience, that is hurting your mind. See, the mind is still on trying to get that experience. Maybe if I let go of it, then it'll come. It's like, why do we hanker for an experience so hard? You know, it's not even, you know, the fantasy about this experience, the fantasy about this sexual experience is building it up to something that can't even match that. You know, it's like all this investment has been put in fantasy. It's like when the reality or the manifestation of it occurs, you know, all the attention has been in fantasy. It's like you're not even there to enjoy it. It's like when you want to be there to enjoy it, the fantasies are not going to get you to that. Everything is much, much richer when you're taking it as it is.
Yeah, well, I feel that, you know, I haven't really been too successful in whatever I've been doing. So yeah, so then this is, that's why I'm bringing it up to you now. And
well, you know what,
you.
And you know what's wonderful, you got a reaction from some people. You got a reaction. People were telling you, this is what I don't like, this is what offends me, you know. And I'm guessing that whatever they saw is coming out of the same kind of energy. So it's like it's like the from the reaction of the people, they're showing you what you're using. They're actually revealing to you what you're using to hurt yourself. See? So if all that was surrendered, that would not be a thing making drama in your life too. If all of that all that thing was all that, like, just way of, even when you put the goddess thing on it and all that other stuff, to a lot of women, that's like, ew, icky. They like you a lot better when you're just like not in that kind of the sexual vibe. It's kind of like a sticky vibe. They actually like you a lot better when you are not in that kind of vibe. And see, that kind of fantasizing is going to get you into this certain kind of vibe where women are just kind of like, yeah, no thanks. So you don't need to keep on accumulating that same kind of energy for yourself when you can just surrender that whole thing if you wanted to. And it's not going to be easy, Bob, because you put a lot of energy into it. It's not going to be easy. Like, you have to make a choice to come back to your body sense, because see, that racing around in the mind, putting projections, these fantastical projections out, that's just getting you into a mental loop. You're not even really having a new experience, just like in this mental loop. So look at it as and be willing to see that it doesn't serve you. It's going to be a little bit of a push and pull, kind of like a battle, maybe for you too, Goda. But Goda, I'm feeling that you are actually a lot more willing than Bob is in this moment. He's getting there, and I know he wants it. I know he wants the relief that comes from not having that burden. It's actually a burden. Most people who are in it don't actually see it as a burden. They see it as something that's beneficial to them. How else will I get this pleasure? How else will I get this pleasure that I'm giving to myself? And the thing is, what was shown to me at a really young age is that you are worthy of this beautiful pleasure and bliss more than you can get from any of those sexual encounters or fantasies or anything. Anytime you want it, anytime. So I just go around already full. I'm already full. I don't need anything from anyone. I don't need someone to fill my cup. I'm already feeling good. See, this idea that we could use a person to make ourselves feel better, it isn't true. But people feel that. And they're not really super stoked on that. It causes conflict. And for the most part, people don't even know why. So, hooray. I mean, I'm not, if you guys want to keep on doing sexual fantasy, I'm not even going to like harp on you about it or anything. I just get the sense that you guys want to know. Yeah, I know it's kind of like a touchy subject for people. When I say don't sit around fantasizing about money, people can kind of get that more. But it's the same.
Hope, I have another question.
Yes, my love.
So part of what I wanted to talk about was, I feel like I have a lot of fun writing about the journal entries and the experiences I had. And it's more so like it becomes this really just meditative experience. And that was another trigger coming up, because it felt as though I put a lot of investment into it, a lot of hours, because I was going to write a book about it. And now I kind of feel like it doesn't matter in the end. So that's
nothing matters anyways. It's not like you can't still write a book. I think it would be a great book. Especially, as deeply spiritual as you are with the writing and everything like that. I think it would be an awesome book, and it would probably inspire a lot of people. It's not like anything you do is wrong in any way. It's not like that at all. And journaling about experiences and journaling about your experiences and stuff like that. It's just, when you go off in dreamland, you're hurting yourself.
I understand.
Yeah.
So is there even like a way of writing about these kinds of things while keeping my intention on spirit?
Well, yeah, you ask the spirit for that guidance.
Okay.
Everything's possible. Yeah, of course. You know, because the way when you're here it is. It's not in the finished product. It's in the way you are with the unfolding of it, right?
Yeah.
You're just being open, open to the calling. What's the calling? And yeah, you're gonna be used in all kinds of ways like that. Just and that's the thing about avoiding fantasy. What's the reason for avoiding fantasy, Coda? What's the reason?
I feel like I'm in school.
Okay, never mind. I'll just tell you. It's so you can hear. It's so you can hear from your guide, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't want to waste any moments not hearing from your guide. Why would you want to waste 1 second not hearing from your guide?
Yeah, I understand.
Right? So, it's not like it's a bad thing to do. It's not like it's a bad thing to do. And you're at a point where it's time to look at the things that you're holding on to because you want to awaken further, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Still, you can stay at this point for a while if you want. It's not a problem.
It's like I just don't want to get hooked. That's all it is. Because there's a point where I'm just having, I just don't want to get hooked because there's moments where I'm just having fun. I'm not thinking about anything and I just let it go. I don't go deeper into the rabbit hole. And then it's like, I don't even know when that flip happens in my mind. And then, yeah, I just want to have a healthy relationship with letting the thoughts go.
Yeah. Okay. So I was talking with my friend Billy this week, and he told me something that he uses, and I thought it was really fun. What he did is he made an imaginary thought room. It's a thought room. It's where all the thoughts are. It's where all the thoughts are playing. They're in this room playing, and the room has a slide, and the slide just goes out back into whatever he makes it out to be. And whenever one of those thoughts in the thought room occurs to him, he lets it go down the slide. Like
I like that. I like visual things like that.
It could just be anything. See, you just you like see what resonates with you. You ask your inner guide. You're just like you're avoiding getting hooked onto anything of these things just by asking, and you're releasing yourself from any hooks just by asking, what do I do with this? You're listening for that quiet voice that's behind that worried, concerned, whatever voice. You're listening for that. None of those thoughts can disturb you without you choosing to be disturbed. They have no power to disturb you.
Thank you so much, Hope.
Thank you too. Yeah, exercise dominion, everyone. Exercise dominion. Like Jesus said, you have dominion over the world. The world is made of thought. So when a thought occurs to you about the world, exercise your dominion. Turn your attention back to your experience that you're having right now. Your thoughts are kind of projected over the experience you're having right now. Those aren't even your thoughts. That's not even you thinking. Your thoughts are the same as the thought system of the Holy Spirit. That's your thought. So you can say the thought system of your soul. Because the creator is purely benevolent, not capable of thinking in separation or death or aging or disease or anything like that. And, you know, the creator only creates like itself. So your real thoughts are thoughts of truth. They're not thoughts of this world. They're thoughts that are opposed to this world. They're actually opposed to this world. Okay, there's tension between them because they cannot reconcile. So the thoughts that occur to you that have you any kind of wondering if you're doing it right, anything like that, those are thoughts of the world. You're always doing it right. It can't be another way if there was a right. Okay.
Well, that's relieving.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you know, you can, it only takes holding on to one illusion to keep this world propped up. Okay. So, you know, you could say, okay, you know what? I'm keeping sexual fantasy. That one's going to go last. I'll take care of all the other shit first. And then that one's going to go last. You know, only you don't really have a choice in that because they come up as they come up and you're being asked to purify the mind. So it's like when you want to hold on to one illusion, you're holding on to the illusion. And when you're willing to let go of an illusion, you're letting go of the whole slew of illusions. It just works all the way across the board. And, you know, another thing about sexual fantasy is notice the manifestation. Like I would have way more people, like people used to send me dick pics even. I haven't gotten a dick pic in a long time. I'm not asking for one, but if I did see one, I would laugh. I haven't seen one in a while. And I noticed that I don't get that come on kind of energy either. I don't get that kind of perception, that come on kind of energy. And the thing is, I don't engage in sexual fantasy. That's the difference. That is the difference, because that's where the shift took place. It's like once I wasn't engaging in sexual fantasy, there wasn't this thing. Now I still have some things come up that have that are sex related, just like some conditioning, you know, like I'll automatically assume that someone is making a sexual connotation when maybe they're not. And sometimes I just like to make it into a sexual connotation because I think it's fucking funny. And you know, I love that about myself. So you probably caught it on Wisdom Dialogues. I like make those kinds of things. And you know, it's like just allowing those things to play like they do, and also just noticing if there's any kind of misbelief, tension, anything like that under any of it. Also just in recognizing, because there's always going to be more. There's always going to be more to purify. You know, when you're done, you're not having a perception anymore. You know, you're not even going to be thinking about purification, because purification is also an illusion. So when you're in reality, you have no need for it. It's not even a thing. That's how you know you don't have any more purification to do. This thing just rolls up and it's gone. So as long as you're having a perception of a world where you're apparently a separate person and there's other people, there is purification to be done. And I know that. So I'm always watching. I see so much too. And it's fun because the more you see, and you realize, wow, I really am still holding on to a bunch of stuff. I see myself holding on to a bunch of stuff. And you know, once again, I love that about myself. You know, what is the problem? Also, as you're holding on to a bunch of stuff, you're also attracting certain people who are also holding on to a bunch of stuff around the same, you could say the same level of letting go as you. So it's like you guys are kind of like playing off of each other and joining together to help each other unload a bunch of stuff. You know, that's just, it's perfect wherever we find ourselves. You know, we're always drawing to us the exact right people who need to be in our vibe, and we need to be in theirs. And here's the thing about teaching too. You cannot even teach a person that you're not willing to learn from. If you can't learn from them, you also cannot teach them. Isn't that interesting? So in thinking about, in thinking about people and what level they seem to be on or anything like that, if they're coming into your perception, there's a lesson there for you. And, going back to wisdom dialogues too, just like you hear what, or you think you hear what's coming out of my mouth, I also think I hear what's coming out of my mouth. And that's teaching my mind, and that's demonstrating to my mind. So there's always a gift in it. There's always a gift in your willingness to use everything. There's always a gift in it for you, always. So yeah, I'm having a really fun time making house calls. I make house calls now, and I did set up a pricing structure. I don't think I even have it posted on my website. I'm getting my website redone again. It's going over to Shopify now. But like for right now, it's just like, hey, if you want to donate anything, it's anything, things, whatever, money, things, doesn't matter. I'm happy to show up. I can't see myself like needing someone to give me a donation, just because of what it is. It's just, it is what it is. It's a gift to me. So definitely, if you feel like donating, fine. If you don't, I'm not asking for it. I'm not expecting it. I know for some people, the way that their mind is conditioned, they feel like if they pay for something, then they'll actually be willing to use it because now they have some kind of an investment in it. If that seems to be the case for you, give me as much money as you think you need to see through that thing. Okay, I'm not going to turn that away. If you like me to come, let me know. If you're not local, you want to have Zoom with me, let me know. I love to join with you. I love to join with you and helping see through whatever it is that seems to be blocking you. It's a great joy for me. So people, you know where to find me. Some people reach out to me on a Facebook Messenger. Maybe they just need a couple words and they give some encouragement with a couple of words. Share a little knowledge, a little teaching. Yeah, I love it. And the more I focus in that way and put my attention on that, the more uplifted I feel. So I feel like I'm on the right path with that, and not meaning that it has to keep going. Even like you guys take advantage because it could be gone next week. I have no illusions about the future. Yeah. But who knows? I'm having fun right now. I'm enjoying it. So we'll see how it goes. And it really, joy is a guide. So in case you're wondering, well, how do you know? Well, joy is also, you could see where it is, like what feels most joyful. At this point, I just love to visit with people who are interested in looking at their patterns and making different choices. Well, there's only one choice between two alternatives, but making the good choice that actually releases you from illusion. I'm so stoked to do that. That is just like so fun to me. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who joined. You guys are awesome. There was no Facebook Live today. Oh, I got Yulia. Okay, Yulia, you're on in a minute. Excuse me. There was no Facebook Live today. Anne, would you give me a little water? Thanks. Technology. I don't know what went down there, but this is definitely the place. Zoom. Get in on that Zoom link, because when you get in on that Zoom link, that's the most reliable that I've seen. That's been the most reliable way, because all I need is internet. I don't need it to connect to Facebook or anything like that. So the Facebook Live one, it's kind of like a treat. When it works, you know. I love you. Thank you. Okay, Yulia, let's see what Yulia has for me. Aloha, my love.
Aloha,
Yay.
my love. Hey, Hope.
Hey, it's us, Yulia.
Oh yeah, just using my chance while there's still wisdom dialogues, and while I can still talk to you in
That's
person and
right.
hear you.
That's right. Catch it while you can. You don't know what's gonna happen
I
here.
was just excited when you were talking to Goda, right? Because
Mhm.
I like, you said all the stuff that I needed to hear. I feel uh about fantasizing,
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter what kind of fantasy.
Yeah.
I just felt like a click, like, oh my God, so I can do that with everything, right?
Yes.
And it's just so liberating. So anytime I feel like,
Like you're
oh,
masturbating. Think of it
I
like
really
that. It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
I used to
you're
have the
a guy.
sexual fantasy thing, but fortunately that like stage is like past. I have
Yeah.
a happy sex in
Cool.
my life and all that, but
Yeah.
none of that, like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see how you can, when you apply that across the board, like
Yeah, but
any
there are
kind of
other things.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was read some of Goda's posts, and I was thinking, yeah, like she's like so open. I
I
I
know.
had
I
that
love
too, but
her.
it was so long ago, and I totally would have never told anyone, about the pet fantasies. So it's actually good that she does that. So you feel like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I wasn't that weird.
Right. Oh yeah. It's totally that's the thing. That's why it's like
And
it's totally awesome that she does it
and
too. I mean,
I know I'm probably her mom's
oh,
age, and for me, it's like, oh, like I guess I wasn't that weird, from somebody who's my kid's age.
well,
So that's
it's put out as if it's only the men who are getting the sexual fantasy and they're pigs.
oh, really?
Oh,
No, not at all, I guess. No. Yeah,
well,
there
well,
is some of that. So like you feel a little bit like a bit of it like a pervert if you're a woman fantasizing, right?
what's wrong? Right.
Right. What's wrong with me? I'm all messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really yeah, it's really awesome. It's really awesome. That's why I could see an amazing book coming from Goda.
Yeah,
It's like,
that actually could be useful for many people.
yeah, right. Ruth,
Right. A lot of people are gonna go like, oh, I'm not the only one, right?
yeah, right. And then ultimately how to use that for awakening.
Yeah, that's the most
Very
important
powerful
thing.
energy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a really powerful energy because people put so much investment into it. Ends up being a big powerful energy. And you can use that, and once it, kind of like shoots back on itself. It's like this energy that's projecting kind of like shoots back on itself and takes you within. It's amazing.
I know. And then it's like this with everything because I fantasize about money like other people, of having this and that, of having a better or more fulfilling things in my work life and my artistic life and this and that. I
Right.
mean, that stuff's still there.
Those
But
are the
like,
things that
wow,
kill
that
us.
stuff is heavy.
Yes.
It's always heavy. There's, even though it seems like sometimes, oh, this was such a great fantasy, and like, oh, I feel like I'm moving that way. There's still heaviness in it.
Yes, exactly. And that's because it's an escape. It's just
Mm-hmm.
escapism. And for the majority of us, we live in fantasy 100% of the time.
I can see why.
100%. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
when I first got out of fantasy and just like to where I could just like experience the body sense. It's like, whoa, the way I was just smelling was different. Like I could smell subtle things and see and see in a different way. And it's like you break out of the fantasy mode and you like feel everything. You notice where your hands go. You're noticing everything you're thinking and feeling, and it's just like it's rich. It's so much more rich than a life we've been programmed to live, where we're just basically missing our lives. We're basically missing it.
Yeah, we're a little bit like bots or something. You just
Yeah.
said that, and I like noticed like, look at all the shit on my desk right now where I'm sitting, and I don't notice it's around me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
and nothing is out of place. Smelling and essential oil. Yep, you know I like my essential oils, Robert. I like to smell those. Yes. All right, you guys. We made it to 5 o'clock. Yay. It was so fun to hang out with you for a couple of hours. I will be back again next Monday. And I also come to you on Friday at Hawaiian Sanctuary at Friday 3 to 5 in the big dance floor room. That's where I go. And everything can be found on hopejohnson.org. Go to the Wisdom Dialogues tab, and you're going to find out how to join this. If you want to join me live, you're going to find all the recordings there. And on the same website, you can find my book called Unschooling for Parents, which is an awesome book, if I do say so myself. Yeah, it's easy to read, and you don't have to be a parent to read it. You know, what you'll find out is you are the parent of everything that you perceive. And you can meet it with loving kindness, like it's your only child, like the Buddha said. Love the whole world like it's your only child. Yeah. So I guess I kind of elaborated on that one. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Until next time, mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho.